this fight, let's start with the main event, because
Okay.
the main event was like, I feel like they made this main event to showcase Song Yadong.
Yeah,
I think that's
I
what they
think
wanted to
like
do.
yeah, I'll agree. I think like how he's carried himself all week, how he's been, especially with the media. I think that it's a really big push by them. They're branching out into the new markets, and I think he could be like the poster boy of that. He's awesome. In the fight, he looked great. Um, I think he was like 8 for 8, 9 for 9 on takedown defense, and then he had his own. I want to say he had two for 2 takedowns, two for 2, maybe 3 for 3. But yeah, man, he's dangerous. Like he's a guy who can stop the takedowns, and it looked like in the first round, like he rocked Sandhagen, and he's bringing some power. And like Sandhagen doesn't get hit, and Sandhagen doesn't get rocked. And if he can connect, he's going to be scary. He's going to be scary for a lot of people.
Yeah, entering this fight, that's what I expected, because Sandhagen,
Yeah.
he's so athletic. Like that's one thing that everybody
Yes.
talks about, is that he
Yeah.
just can leapfrog around the cage probably for
Yeah.
25
Literally.
minutes
Yeah.
and not be tired, right?
Yeah.
Just his
Yeah.
movement is crazy. He's switching stances all the time, so the angles
Yep.
that you're looking at as an opponent is just like confusing. But I think Song's plan was to just have his hands up and march forward and then
And
just
just
land
walk him
power
down.
shots.
Yep.
Exactly,
He's just
right?
like, I'm gonna walk him down. Yeah. Pretty much.
And
Yeah, I
and in
think
the
he took a
open.
page out of of Jan's book. Like he seen what
Mhm.
Jan was doing when they were fighting. Yeah, Cory was cutting the angles and doing what Cory does. But Jan was landing certain things when he had the high guard and he came forward, and that's what he was doing pretty much the whole fight.
And Cory, he came in with this game plan of just mixing it up really well as well.
Yeah.
He just was, right away he was going for the takedown. Right away, like in the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
round, like he pushed him against the cage and
Yep.
went for the takedown. Even though if he wasn't going for the takedown fully, but he's just showing
Yeah.
him like, yo, I'm gonna go for
You
your
have to be
legs.
aware.
So be
Got to
careful.
be aware,
Exactly,
man.
right?
Got to be
You do,
ready.
you do. And I thought like maybe he's gonna use or implement a game plan to where he's gonna try to take him to the ground, because
Yeah.
what's his name was in his corner, Ryan Hall, and he's worked with
I
Ryan
did
Hall
see that. Yeah.
for
I
a
did see
long
that.
time.
I didn't know that
So
it did that. I see. I didn't know that they're like buddy or like that they've been like
yeah,
working together. So that's like a new thing that makes him and his game plan like really interesting. Like going forward, like if he's going to be playing that jujitsu heavy game, we'll see. I mean, obviously he's a wrestler. He wants to get on top. He wants to land those elbows, those vicious elbows, as you can tell from this fight and what they could do. But you know, him off of his back, it'll be interesting if his jiu-jitsu game starts climbing that much better than it already is.
yeah, because in fighting it's all about styles, right? So if you're
Yeah,
able to adapt your style or change your approach to a certain opponent, and you have that
yeah,
game where you can sit on your back and not take too much damage and be able to submit somebody, that's a
exactly.
huge ace in the pocket, right? It's just like,
That's right. That's right.
anybody that has that, like who was
That's
the
right.
best off his back? Verdum. Just think about
Yeah,
Verdum.
Verdum. Yeah, Verdum. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they have Verdum. Who else is up there? Frank Mir. A lot
Yeah.
of people would say Frank Mir was phenomenal off his back, but those are heavyweights.
Yeah.
It's a little different. Our gas tanks are a little different.
Mm.
The punching power is certainly a little different. So I necessarily wouldn't play that game if you're under. I think the last time we were talking, it was like if you're under 185, you're cool with playing that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, not me, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking to scramble, looking to get on top, and just looking to stay heavy and land shots.
Yeah. When I was watching the fight, I had Cory winning every round. Like I
Yeah,
thought, I thought Song had, of course, the power advantage. We knew that coming in.
yeah,
Like you knew that
yeah.
he had the power advantage. It's not something that was like, oh my God, during the fight we just
No,
noticed. But
no.
like Cory, he was just landing way more and way
Yeah,
cleaner too as well. I think Song
yeah,
landed a lot on the arms, right? Did you think
yeah.
that?
Yeah, so I had before they stopped it, I I gave Song 1 round. I think it was the first round I might have gave him.
Mhm.
Strictly because of him pushing forward, him rocking Sandhagen, and him stuffing the takedowns and him implementing his game plan in that round. So I gave him at least 1 round. But yeah, man, he was looking good. Cory Sandhagen is the type of guy that he'll touch you, he'll make you like get comfortable with like, oh, he's just touching me, and then he'll rip like the body. Like I really like when Sandhagen touches up top and then he rips to the body. Like his like lead jab from orthodox and then rip to the body side. The body off of his lead side is a thing of beauty, and then he's really good at that. But he does do some patterns in which you can see. Um, Compared from his last previous fights that I was actually waiting to pick up on. Like, not to be giving out his gameplay. I mean, I have no affiliation with Cory Sandhagen. I have never trained with Cory Sandhagen. This is strictly just from watching his fights. But he does like the double jab, like the left hook to the body, and then sometimes he'll step back into southpaw. And when he steps back into southpaw, he like baits you. He goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then he throws the straight left. And off that straight left, you can counter off that straight left. But then a lot of the other times he'll do that. He'll either get people to think that the straight left's coming, so he'll go back and forth, back and forth. He'll get you to like, all right, I'm going to slip outside. And when you slip outside and go like this, that's when the knee comes up. He's really big on that knee. That's what he called Edgar with. So those are like two tells that I would definitely be working on if I ever had to fight him. But yeah, I mean, I think outside of those little tells, he's really good, man. I really enjoy just really watching him fight, and just the type of angles that he creates and the type of fluid movement that he has between those strikes. Like that's something that takes years to do. Not a lot of guys are super confident in doing that, because it takes a certain amount of skill and it takes a certain amount of risk, if we're being honest. You're switching stances constantly. You have to be just as good defensively in your quote unquote opposite stance, that in your normal stance, if that's the type of fighter that you're going to be. And that's what I think makes him exciting, and that's what I think makes people want to watch him.
Yeah, him and Song's only 24. Cory, I don't know
Yeah,
how old he is. He's very young as well. These guys are the
yeah,
future of the division, and they're already at the top.
absolutely,
So
absolutely, yeah,
we're gonna see them fight again. I guarantee
yeah,
that's gonna happen.
no doubt in my mind. Yeah, I mean, Song was number 10. He was giving Cory trouble if he didn't get caught with that elbow and that huge gash split open. Who knows what would have happened, or if the fight would have just continued to keep going. But I mean, he's ranked 10. I think he was ranked 10th going into this fight. He gives a lot of those other people from 9-1, a lot of problems.
I love that element. I love the element of one guy having this power to where he losing the whole fight, and then just one shot will change
It's crazy. It's
everything,
crazy.
right? And then you
That's
got
crazy.
Cory, who's just technically it's insane how good he is, like technically, for like being a basketball player. To be honest with you, like he started like he was a basketball player, right? He was just an athlete. Like he wasn't really I don't think he was a full on like martial artist, doing like
I don't believe he
karate
was
and all
either.
that.
No.
Yeah, so it's
yeah, it's crazy.
it's this like
And it's really
Cory.
crazy.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, and it's really crazy that like bantamweights have that one shot power. Like he's got that power where it's like, dude, you cannot get hit by that guy. And like if you can't get clean, and that's why I think like Cory was like rolling with a lot of things, and like his head movements like this, so that if he sees things coming, he can come back and start rolling with them. Like that's his game, and I think that's what keeps him safe, especially against big power guys like him and Jan. And I think that's what paid dividends in this fight, because really anybody else, I don't think that they're I think that they're waking up with a ref in their face and they're like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean?
He's the next level of like the style that Dominick Cruz created. Basically, Dominick
Yes.
Cruz, his
Yeah.
style caught up to him because the level of talent, what I mean, the
Yeah.
level of skill reached to
Yeah.
his level, and then they figured it out, right? The coaches, and
Yeah.
of course, like there's so many intelligent guys in the game. Now Cory, he took that, flipped it, and he's just much faster. He has way better angles. Like he could change levels, I think, better than Dominick Cruz can.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's hard to compare like him in his prime versus Cory right now, right? But what I see, recency bias.
Yeah, true, recency bias. But little story that I heard through the grapevine and through the community was that obviously when TJ and Sandhagen were training partners, they were number one training partners because Sandhagen could replicate the stuff that Dominick Cruz was doing.
Mm.
So obviously he's like, this fucking works. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing
Yeah.
it to everybody else outside of TJ Dillashaw, outside of the bantamweight division, and it worked. And he's ran with it. I think that he's made improvements to Dominick Cruz's footwork, his system, quote unquote system, whatever you want to call the way that Dominick Cruz fights. I think he's like you were saying. I think he's technically and maybe a little recency bias. I think he's a little bit better with creating the unpredictability that Dominick Cruz is known for.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, man. Like he's a style.
Yeah,
Like I like TJ's style as well to watch.
yeah,
I think Cory beat TJ in that fight though. That's just my
yeah.
opinion looking back.
And if I'm being honest, what I remember of the fight, it was a lot of TJ coming into strikes. TJ was getting hit a lot, but TJ was also landing. But the biggest thing, and I think even DC and Dominick Cruz were going back and forth during the commentary about it, was he was getting into the positions of a lot of body locks from the back against the cage. And they were deciding on, is this an attempted takedown? Is this just a control position? And then that's when the whole thing, the argument of MMA judging and what are we judging? What are we looking at? Do the judges know what they're looking at? Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's
Even
MMA.
the commentators don't know. Remember,
Even
like
the commentators are going back and forth about what should be scored. And they're just guys just getting paid to talk about it, not people who are quote unquote getting paid to, judge it. And I wouldn't trust those people to judge anything. That's why I don't like going to the judges, because those people fucking suck.
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
not too,
Yeah,
too,
like what is an omoplata? What is a go-go plata? Show me how to do those moves. Is this guy in danger when he's in this type of armbar? Or is this guy just holding the position? Is the rear naked choke is that like just a dangerous position or during this certain time? Or is this like a holding position? Like I got back control, I got my seatbelt grips. Like what am I doing here? Like it would make me feel better as a fighter if I knew that judges were competent or at least trained in something, and it wasn't.
yeah. It's hard to like generalize all the judges, because
Correct.
then
Correct.
we could generalize all the fighters, we could generalize
Correct.
all the coaches,
Yeah.
But credit to Cory's coach. I forgot his name, but he doesn't really work with many guys.
No,
But he's a
hairdo,
little genius in himself. You know what I mean? He's his little like Dwayne Ludwig for TJ Dillashaw. Like
exactly. That. Yeah. I don't know who that guy is. Forgive me if this ever crosses
Christian.
paths.
I think his name is Christian. Yeah,
I think
something
you might
Christian
be right.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But shout out to him, man.
If it's Christian, shout out to you.
Yeah.
Sorry for messing your name up.
Yeah, with this win, man, I think Cory is in prime position. He's just in a position to where he could just kind of like sit back and see what happens in the top. See what happens with O'Malley and Jan. See what happens with Sterling and TJ. And I think.
I mean, if we're being real, like who does he fight? Because he's fought 3 out of those 4 guys. I don't think he wants. Obviously, every fighter wants to fight for the belt. They want that. That's just what they want. If Jan beats O'Malley, do they give O'Malley to Sandhagen? Like, what are they doing here? Like, do they do the rematch for Jan? Like, for the number one, or and then you got to see what happens with Aljo and TJ, depending on how that fight goes. If it's a super fight, super close fight, like are they doing an immediate rematch? Like what are they doing? He's in a good spot, but he's also in a shitty spot because he's kind of at the the mercy of those 2 fights. Like does he fight another up and coming guy, like another super dangerous guy? And the winner of TJ Aljo fight, the winner of Jan and O'Malley. Like who knows? Like who really knows?
Yeah, because he's lost to those guys. Like when you lose to those guys and they're in a higher position and like a better position than you, and they won their fight, it's hard to justify another fight with them, right? So
correct. Like when he fought Aljo, he got stopped against Aljo. Like we were just talking about the TJ fight. The TJ fight really could have been a coin
Yeah.
flip. The Jan fight, I think that he definitely lost the Jan fight. So I mean, do they run it back with TJ? Like what's the deal here? So who knows?
When you look at the rankings right now, you got Cory at number 4, and then
Yes.
I believe he doesn't want to fight back in the rankings again because that's what he just did with Song Yadong.
Yes.
He's at number 10, right? But if you
Yeah.
look, there are some enticing fights though. Like at number 5, you got Vera, who's like on a
I think he
rocket
did
ship right
call out
now.
Vera. I think he
Oh, did he?
did. I think he
Okay.
did. Like, obviously the top 4 guys are going to be, tied up for a while. With training camps, with the fight, with recovery after that, you don't know any type of injuries that are going to be coming out of there. I think that's what he did say when he was talking to DC. Like, if I can't get any of those 2 guys and they're hurt or injured, I'd really like to, him and being super respectful. I'd really like to fight Cheeto Vera type thing, and not like a calling Cheeto out, like calling Cheeto a piece of shit or anything like that. He's like really super respectful, so it's pretty cool.
If he does take a fight, if he does take a fight behind him, like down in
Yeah,
the rankings, I feel
yeah.
like he should just fight Dominick Cruz. We need to see that fight.
That would be a good fight, but for his career wise and
No,
for
nothing
no
would.
for
Yeah, it's not gonna
no
really help your career, but
no
it's like it's lower risk and
yeah
decent reward to me.
yeah
If because you beat the guy that people think you are, or you
yeah yeah
based your style from, right? So you showed
pretty much
everybody like, yo, I'm a better version of that.
I'm the better version of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, that would be cool just to see that clash of
Yeah,
styles.
let's just see those guys move around for like.
Just bouncing around back and forth. You're like, whoa, everyone, slow down here. Everyone, just calm down. That would be pretty cool.
Oh man,
Um,
that shit would be funny to watch.
all
Actually,
right,
like,
it'd
yeah,
be like them jumping in, them jumping back, them jumping in,
yeah.
them spinning, them jumping in, them jumping back. It would be
And they
crazy.
don't even hit each other. They're just like moving
Yeah.
around,
They're
but they're
just
just
going back.
missing. They're just
They're
swinging
just
and
like this,
missing,
like
and
oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that'd be
do you
really
follow
cool.
that kid on Instagram that does all those like little TikToks of like moments in the UFC? Like
No,
he'll do it in his
no.
like garage. Like he'll do like Connor's knockout, but he's doing it himself, and then like he'll play like one
No.
position. Oh, you ever see that? Oh, I'll send it to you later, man. It's
Yeah, send it to
hilarious. The
me.
kid is
Send
like
it to me.
crazy. Like I watch it sometimes. I'm just like laughing my ass off because I don't know how he created like this thing that he did, but it's
Yeah,
funny. For MMA, it's
please
funny.
send that to me. Please send
Yeah,
that
I'll
to me.
send it to you.
All right.
Yeah. So even Jose Aldo, man, Jose Aldo's sitting at number 6. He's not gonna retire. I don't know. Barab said that Jose told him that he's gonna retire, but Jose comes out. He's like, no, I'm not retiring. I always
Yeah.
think that's a name that anybody would want to fight. Like Jose Aldo is
Yeah.
the GOAT. You know what I mean? He's
A
one of the
legend. Yeah.
GOATs of
Yeah.
the whole fucking
Of not
sport.
just like, of not just
Yeah.
like that weight class, like of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Of this
Like
whole thing that everyone's obsessed with nowadays. Yeah, MMA. He is,
across the
yes.
board. Like I think he has
Yes.
so much respect
I want to
from
fight
the actual
Jose. I
fighters.
want to fight him. Yeah. I'll fight him until he light kicks me, and then I'm like done. I'm like, all right, cool, dude.
You could
That's enough.
fight
We're
him,
done.
and he could have Hasbullah on his shoulders. Like then you guys
Dude,
would kind of be
imagine
the same
that. Give me that.
height.
Give me that payday right there. Give me
Yeah,
that.
for real. That's a freak show shit, but yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You could get the payday. Song Yadong,
Yep.
what does he do? You know what I mean? I don't think he loses any stock in this fight because the
I
fight
don't
was
think he
stopped
does.
with the cut, right? So
Yeah.
I think
I
you give
think
him
he's
like a Dominick Cruz. I think you could give him like a Pedro Munoz who's like 8 and 9. You could give him a
yeah.
Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar's. Oh, I think Frankie Edgar's looking for a retirement fight, right? He's looking for one more
I
fight
think he
in New
wanted
York.
to fight in New York, yeah. I think he wanted to fight in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
I don't think that Song Yadong is going to be healed in time for that. Like that takes a while, and then he's got to, obviously training, and I mean he could rush it, he could try and get back and see what happens. But I think that's a dangerous fight for Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
I don't think Edgar takes him down. I don't think even if Edgar does take him down, he doesn't hold him down. I just think that's a bad stylistic matchup for Frankie. So if I was Frankie, I'd steer clear of that one. If that comes across my phone, I'm going like this. Nah, dude, no, I'm not dealing with that one. Nope.
It almost seems like Song Yadong is like a younger version of Frankie Edgar, just with a lot of more power.
Yeah.
In a
I
way,
think so.
not too like of course Frankie's much more movement, you know what I mean, and
Yes.
Song Yadong's more plotting forward and just trying to land some power, but like physical build, they seem very similar.
They seem similar, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
but you never know.
I don't know, man.
Have you been around Frankie
I
Edgar?
nah,
What
nah.
about Song?
No, I've not been around Song.
I
Frankie obviously is from the area. I've trained with guys who trained with Frankie.
mm,
They say that he's just smaller. That's pretty much it.
yeah.
That they couldn't believe that he was fighting at the weight classes for however long he was fighting at these weight classes for so long
You-
and being so
People
successful, you know?
forget that shit. People forget
Yeah.
that shit.
He was like walking around on weight and would just go beat people the fuck up. I'd just be like, all right, cool. Like, I'm just going to go be a world champion at the weight that I walk around at, and no one's going to do anything about it. And look at him, man, killing it.
Yeah. He's a legend. Like the word
Yeah,
legend gets thrown around a lot, and I use
it
it to just
does.
like compliment somebody. But when I
Yeah,
really call a fighter a legend, like Frankie's
yeah,
a legend. That fool went into 155 at 155 and beat the greatest
yeah,
lightweight of all time, BJ Penn, three
yeah,
times in a row. Like, come on.
yeah, yeah.
Who does that?
He might have woke up at like weighing day at like 157 or like 156 and like went to the bathroom or like skipped breakfast and then made weight. And he was just like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go beat BJ Penn, no big deal. I'm gonna go beat him this many times. I'm gonna go beat everybody else, and it's gonna be no big deal. You
Yeah.
know, it's crazy.
The Gray Maynard fights were
The
just
Gray
complete
Maynard
chaos.
fights were absolute chaos. They were. I remember watching them, and I'm just like, what is going on with these fights? Like he's literally getting hit from like
Mhm.
octagon side to octagon side, back and forth, back and forth. I'm just like, what is going on? And it ends up stopping him, I think, in the third fight, which is insane. It's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Frankie Edgar, man. I hope they give him a good like retirement fight with
Send
which is
off, yeah,
yeah,
something.
that's weird to me is because this sport is not like basketball. You can't do the Kobe Bryant like, yo, I'm gonna retire. This is
No,
my last game. So they're gonna
no,
let him hit like 50 points. You know what I mean?
no,
That's not what happens in this sport.
no. It's generally what happens in this sport is like, all right, I'm on my way out. Cool. Oh, you're on your way out. Cool, no problem. Here's this super killer that's coming up, and he's gonna like
Uh,
run the division for the next 12 years. Go fight that guy, and you're just like, all right, cool, man, whatever. I guess I'll go do it.
it's rough, man. It's rough. It's like
Yeah.
it's almost like should they even have retirement fights? It's like you should just not even
Ah,
tell anybody, not even talk about
yeah,
it, and just be like, okay, I'm taking
yeah.
my next fight, and then after that,
I think yeah,
probably the
yeah,
best choice, right? Because then everything
yeah.
leading up to it is gonna be like, Frankie, you're gonna
It's the
retire
last
after
fight,
this.
man. You know,
Yes,
yeah. You want to go out with a win, and then you're just like,
I think
all
psychologically
right.
you'd be just like wrecked, because
I think
everybody's
so
just
too.
like asking the same shit, just about retirement and like, what are you gonna
Yeah,
do? Like, and maybe you don't have nothing to do, which would be
yeah,
really bad.
yeah. I mean, like during normal fight weeks, I get tired of like, how was camp? How's everything going? How are you feeling? Oh,
Yeah.
I feel great. This is the best I've ever felt. I feel 110%. This guy doesn't know what's going to come. This guy has no idea what's coming for him when I step in there and I punch him right in his mouth. It's the same answer, cut and repeat like 1,000 times. And I couldn't imagine if it was like a retirement fight or like, my send off fight where like people were like really bringing that up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if I was doing it, I'd be like, I'd tell like my close family and be like, yo, this is it. Like, we're going out and whatever happens, whatever happens. But obviously, everyone wants to go out a winner. That'll probably keep me coming back.